got a T-shirt with bloodstains all over it. Maybe laundry isn't your biggest problem right now.
I remember the day the candle shop burned down. Everybody just stood around and sang happy birthday.
And a security guard came over and said, "You're gonna have to move. You're blocking the fire exit." As though if there was a fire, I wasn't gonna run.
You make love to the right woman, Johnny, is beautiful, beautiful. I mean, the last time I made love to my wife, it was ridiculous. Nothing was happening. I looked at her, I said, "What's the matter? Can't you think of anyone either?"
I never learn, you know, like a waitress will bring my meal. "Hey, enjoy your meal, you too!" But you don't have one, do you? I'm a doofus. If you do eat, enjoy it when you eat it. If you have a break or something later, if you get an opportunity, that's all I'm trying to say. That's all that I'm driving at, really.
Hello and welcome to
Comedy Think Tanked.
How do you spell tanked?
Tanked.
Is that with a Q or a 7? A podcast with Leonard Kimball and Nick Gordon, two comedians who know how to take a drink and have a thought. Sit back, get comfortable, and enjoy. Now, whether they're ready or not, here's your hosts, Leonard and Nick.
Hello, and welcome to Comedy Think Tanked podcast. I'm Leonard, along with Nick. Nick, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good. Thank you very much for allowing us into your home to record this little bit because apparently my garage wasn't good enough for you.
Well, you were coming here this evening anyway, so I figured this would kill two birds with one stone.
Oh, it's about efficiency.
It's efficiency. Yeah, exactly. It was like if I drove to Auburn just to record in your garage attic and then drive back here to Bath, that would make 0 sense.
It would show some dedication.
Sure would. It sure would. And maybe in my yearly review, we could mark that down as this young man has some real dedication.
Yeah.
Perseverance.
He exceeded expectations.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming and doing this because we had to get it done.
Yeah. That's the only reason we do this podcast is because we have to get it done.
Yeah, we decided we wanted to do it, and now we have to do it.
Now we have to do it. Yeah, we have to keep going.
I'm sure there are worse reasons.
Yes, yeah, there are worse reasons to start a podcast. So this one was a good one. We sat down with Ann-Marie Keene, who is very, very new to comedy. A good friend of ours who's from Portland, but comes up to the Lewis and Auburn area.
Comes anywhere, goes anywhere.
Yeah.
She'll go in for comedy or beer, apparently.
Yeah.
She's not new to comedy, though. She's somebody who has been a fan of comedy, it seems like, for a very long time.
Yes.
Probably most of her life.
Probably more than me.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I really haven't gotten into comedy for like the last 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And apparently she's been into it for a long while.
She's been following it. She's been a fan of it. She's been a consumer of it. And now she's a performer of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so she expressed a bit of anxiety and nervousness about starting this, but she's doing a great job. And
yep.
I remember feeling the same nervousness when I began. I mean, like, not that it was that long ago, 3 years ago, but I got so nervous that I started sort of, the trick I used to do was like just pretend that I'm not nervous. I don't know if that sounds silly.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Not at all.
I was like thinking I'm like an actor up there. So I'm like, I'm thinking like, what would someone who's not nervous do? And I guess like they would, I don't know, they would rock back and forth 100 times in a minute, I guess.
I watched that video of you from earlier while you had a couple beers.
The drunk set.
The drunk set. You sent me that video. You weren't rocking back and forth there, but
no, I wasn't nervous at all there.
But you had a couple beers in you too, so that's a different story.
Yeah.
Do you typically drink one beer before going on stage?
I not as a rule. I try not to drink at all, but if I do have anything, it's no more than one beer.
Right,
Yeah,
I see. All right.
Yeah.
Recently, I have not been having anything before I go on. I used to be because I was nervous too. I was nervous speaking in front of people, and I overcame that relatively quickly. What I did was I changed. Instead of calling it nervousness, I changed the name. I called it I'm excited. I'm not nervous. I'm excited.
Okay.
And that seemed to help. But I'll tell you right now, today we're going over to Trinken Brewery. Excuse me. After this, we're already started drinking, and we're going over there. And I'm hosting the show. And I actually have a little nerves going on. I'm excited. I think is that what I should say. But I can tell you right now, I'm actually feeling like a little bit nervous. I don't know why.
Well, I guess I feel some excitement about that venue. I mean, it's really nice place, and the owner Tyler is really great. We had an awesome first show, and now we're keeping it rolling with was it Jack Hall, Mike Johnson, and Karen Morgan.
Yeah, big show. So if you're hearing this podcast, we've already done the show.
Yeah, so hurry up and hurry and build that time machine and. But no, we're going to have some other great shows there, and Karen Morgan is kind of a big deal.
Karen Morgan is a big deal. I feel like, well, at least in the comedy circle, I don't know, if she would call herself famous, but I feel like she's like a pretty close to a famous person. Like she's been around a while, and she's been doing this, and she's achieved a pretty high level of acclaim for a comedian from Maine. Actually, originally from the South, but she's somebody that I want to interview someday too. And I feel like she's famous. But have you ever met a famous person before?
So spoiler alert, I joke about meeting Bill Cosby, but I actually never have. Even though we have the same birthday, we're pen pals, but we haven't actually met. One close I got to someone famous was Jesse Jackson, and I used to be in this. I'm trying to how to describe it. I was in a service organization that helped people like get into pay for like high school. Like I went to a Jesuit high school, and I was this organization called Link Unlimited.
Okay.
And we got a sponsor that helped pay our tuition because we were not, super rich to pay for, St. Ignatius College Prep and, the Isle of Excellence and the Sea of Mediocrity. That was our unofficial motto.
Oh, I was going to say, geez, they really build themselves up down there.
Yeah, we're kind of up on ourselves. Yeah. Anyway, so like at one of our like graduation dinners, Jesse Jackson was giving like a speech there, and it was friggin' huge. Yeah. It was incredible. And I've seen my father run twice in his entire life. God rest his soul. And the first time was like, he used to pick me up on the weekends. And one time he was dropping me off, or he was getting out of the car, and he went down the vestibule between two houses, and I saw him just sprinting back and do like a Starsky and Hutch over the hood and hop back into the car, and some dog was chasing him because he used to be afraid of dogs. The second time I seen him run was when he saw that there's a chance to get a picture with Jesse Jackson at this dinner. Yeah. And so he goes running off, and he's got like, I don't know if it's like a disposable Polaroid sort of thing. Yeah. And he goes hurtling off, O.J. Simpson all over. And he gets there, and he takes this picture, and he's got this huge grin on his face, and he's like, "Oh, I got this picture, yeah." And he's like, "Yeah." So he was a mumbler, by the way. He's "Yeah, hey Junior, yeah, I got this. I got a picture of Jesse Jackson. I got a picture of Jesse Jackson." They're like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome." So,
that's a good impression. I never met the man, but
that's my dad.
That's awesome.
So he takes the thing to the Walgreens, because this is way back in the before times. Yeah. And like 2 weeks later, we're getting the pictures, and he's going through the pictures, and he looks through, and he pauses, and he's like, "What? Uh-oh." And he does this smirk. He's like, "Oh, damn it. that woman. He's like, and apparently he had given this camera to a woman to take his picture, and he's put his arm around Jesse Jackson, and he's got this mile wide grin on his face. And apparently she took the picture and focused right on my father. Like my father is center of the picture, and Jesse Jackson is cut off right in the middle of his face. So I could get his left eye and the left nostril. Part of his eye. Oh God, he was so mad.
It's like they used to date and he folded the thing over so he can't see his face anymore.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm tearing you out of my life.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
Oh, I've got that picture. I got to like upload it somewhere.
I think that picture needs to be, I mean, I don't know. I don't need photo evidence of this story, but I think it would be great to see that picture just to bring it full circle. Because that is pretty funny. Like, that's a pretty big deal to meet Jesse Jackson. I mean, he ran for president. I mean, he's huge, right? I mean,
right.
He's an iconic figure in the United States.
Mm-hmm. So, who have you met?
I've met a few people that nobody really care about.
Well,
I've met like some hockey players and it's like NHL and I've met a bunch of NHL referees.
So NHL referees are famous?
Well, in my circle of hockey friends, they are. So like,
all right,
very, very limited. But I think in a grander sort of sense, Judd Nelson.
Yeah. Okay.
You know who Judd Nelson is?
Yeah, of course I do.
Breakfast
Yeah.
Club and,
he
went to. He's I don't know what else he's in really off the top of my head, but you know he's one of those guys from the '80s, and let me pull him up here real quick. All right. Breakfast Club.
All right, everyone, follow along IMDb.com at home.
St. Elmo's Fire. We could be sponsored by them. Television. That was that show. Hold on, let me find it here. Oh my God, he's on Family Guy.
He was on Family
CSI.
Guy?
Suddenly Susan. That's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, I remember that
show. Anyway, so back in like 2000 and I want to say 2001, 2002, somewhere in there, I was working at a marina in South Portland, Maine.
Okay.
And I just like helped fuel up boats, and I manned the dock house and sold people beer and water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Judd Nelson and his dad, who his father owned a business in Portland, and Judd grew up in Portland, or some in Portland or from Portland, whatever the case may be. They pull up in the boat, and I'm fueling it up, and I'm looking. I'm like, Jesus, this guy looks really familiar. And I finally like kind of figure it out. I think I talked to another one of my coworkers or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, that's Judd Nelson." And I'm like, "Holy shit, yeah, it is Judd Nelson." Holy my God! But then he like comes up to the dock house to pay for the gas, and he bought some beer, whatever. They hung out for like 3 more hours, just hanging out. Boat tied up to the dock. I think his father was talking to somebody else in the marina, and like Judd's just like hanging out in the dock house with us and like shooting the shit or whatever. And it's like, this is very weird. Like, it's a beautiful day, summer in Maine. Those who know. It's like, there's only a few of those days. It was like one of those, and he's just there, and I'm like, this is so strange. And we're just like hanging out with Judd Nelson, just like talking about the weather and sports.
Yeah,
and
don't you know how famous you are? You shouldn't be here. Right now.
It was just very, very strange. Nobody else with him, just him and his dad out cruising the ocean. And then I was 21 years old, 21, 22. So it was probably a Thursday. It didn't really matter what night it was. I was going out drinking that night with my friends. Yeah, because we're all back from college and that sort of thing. And then we go to this bar. I don't know if you know the bar Foreplay in downtown Portland.
Oh, I think I've been there.
Yeah, probably. It's got like air hockey tables and darts in the back and whatnot, and like Jello. They were known for Jello shots. Oh, so we're in this bar Foreplay, me and my friends, and I'm telling them about like seeing Judd Nelson during the day, and then all of a sudden, who walks in? Judd Nelson.
Oh, like did someone say my name?
It was like one of those moments. It was like, oh my God, look! And speak of the devil, and he walks in. He sees me from earlier in the day, and he comes up. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?
Oh, no way!"
Good to see you. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, all my friends are looking at me, going like, "You weren't shitting us, were you?" Like, this is the weirdest thing. And then he hung out with us, and we had drinks with him at the bar. Okay, and of course, over the course of the last however many years, 20 years, it's been. My mind, I was drinking that night. It may not have been exactly what I think it was, but that's essentially what happened. And he's like hanging out with us at the bar. And I'm like, this is the strangest goddamn thing to ever happen in my life. And like, and then after that, I mean, I never saw him again. And not like I got his phone number or, became Facebook friends.
He didn't become your pen pal.
No, but it was like one of those weird, like this can't be real. This is not a normal thing. And I wish it was somebody a little bit more famous.
No offense, Judd.
No offense, Judd. Anytime you want to come on the podcast, please feel free. But and it's one of those, like, I'm sure he's done that with hundreds of thousands of people. Like, it's,
he's just a normal, regular guy.
Just a normal, regular guy hanging out at a bar, and just so happens he's been in some movies and TV, and people know who he is. I mean, he's from Portland. I'm from Portland.
Okay. I didn't know he's from Portland.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just one of those weird occurrences in your life where you're like, you're brushed with fame of some sort. So
yeah.
But Ann-Marie's had,
many brushes with fame,
and one in particular she tells us all about, which is worth listening to.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what else. Anything?
No, I think that's it. Let's throw it to our interview now with Ann-Marie Keene.
Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you.
Welcome to Comedy Think Tanked with our guest today, Ann-Marie Keene. Hello,
Hi.
Ann-Marie.
Yeah.
Ann-Marie, you might
hello.
recognize the voice is the voiceover for our intro and outros on the show. We want to thank you for that.
That is me.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're welcome. I was drunk one night and you asked me and it just worked out.
Yeah. I hope you got that check we sent.
I didn't.
Oh,
Interesting.
That's a shame. We'll talk to our accountants. about
Okay.
that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we'll get on that. Make a note. Ann-Marie is an up and coming comedian locally here in the state of Maine.
I wouldn't say I've gotten that big yet.
Well, you've tried it
As
at least.
big as an up and coming comedian.
Correct.
Okay.
You're one of a small handful of thousands of people who have stepped up at trying comedy.
Right. What can I say? I'm really special.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
We think you are. What?
Did you get the check I sent?
See, funny.
Yeah.
That's good. What do you think? You've been doing it now?
10 minutes or so, I guess. I've been doing it now about 3 weeks. So it feels like 10 minutes of my life.
You took a stand-up
I took Don
workshop.
Hartel's comedy class at the Lewiston Adult Ed.
Yeah.
Even that, I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like, it took a lot of people kind of pulling me in.
Yeah.
For a while. Like, I've been friends with a bunch of comedians for like years, really.
Yeah.
I was friends with Rocky Laporte, who's a comedian in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny when we first met or started talking, I would make him laugh. And I was like, whoa, that's a cool feeling to make a comedian laugh.
Yeah.
Then I kind of started making friends with some of the Lewiston Auburn people and made them laugh. And I liked it. I liked hanging out, having beers. And then,
Oh, you like beer? Okay.
yeah, it's pretty good. I do like it. Yeah, and I was hanging out with Leonard and Don, and they were doing Doug Birgfeld's podcast, Ultra Quiz Plus, and he took Dawn aside and said, "Is she a comedian? Would she do the show?" And Dawn was like, "She's not, but she might." And he sort of, I don't know the best word for it. He sort of courted me into the comedy for like a few months. He got Sheldon involved, and they just really yanked me in. And I finally, one night, they got me drunk enough, and I agreed to do it.
Yeah.
And I had a month to prepare, and I melted down for the entire month. Like, I can't. I came up with excuses.
Oh, I remember this.
I tried to get COVID. I didn't. And then I did it. It felt good. I did shake through the whole episode.
Yeah.
Then I did another one, and I shook through like half the episode.
Oh, getting better.
Yeah, that's better.
Then I did another one. I started shaking hours before the episode.
Oh, it's shifted.
It shifted. It was
out of the way.
very weird.
Okay.
But I did it. And shortly after that, I started taking Dawn's class. And I shook on the mic at the class.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a very nervy person, I guess. But I stop shaking as soon as it's over, and then it feels really good.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that class like? How was that process?
It was really interesting. I kept telling people, like friends at work and things, even if I never got on a stage after the class, I've learned a lot about comedy. And I'm kind of a comedy junkie, and I always have been. So
yeah,
I like learning weird little nerdy details about things that don't matter because, trivia night and stuff.
Right.
You got to be good at that.
The idea that, you're nerdy and you want to learn more about it, like I think that's the first major stepping stone. Like, when you were a teenager or whatever, like in your 20s or, and you just like watch comedy and you're like, I really want to try that. That's
honestly, I feel like it started at a really early age. Without too many details, I'll say I had kind of a traumatic childhood, but I escaped into the television with very silly shows. Like, I was really obsessed with Nickelodeon. You Can't Do That on Television.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Out of Control.
Yeah.
That one was wacky. Like, I just loved the humor.
Yeah.
And I guess laughing kind of helped me escape stuff. And then, like, as a teen, started kind of, I was bouncing around the foster care system in Maine and group homes and shelters, but I always had tapes of stand-up.
Yeah.
And I would always play them. I memorized George Carlin Jammed in New York at like age 14.
Oh, wow.
And I loved him because he was really smart and he made me laugh. And I was like, man, to be like that, like,
yeah,
that's it.
that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a huge
So,
thing.
yeah,
I think
I've always,
there's a point in people's lives where they realize like we could go this way or we could go that way.
Mm-hmm.
And one way is funny, one way is not. And I would much rather be funny
Yeah.
than anything else.
Same.
Yep.
That's why I'm an idiot.
I feel that we all have good jobs in real life and we're able to sustain that, but everything else has to be funny.
I get by. I mean,
yeah.
My sense of humor has gotten me in a lot of trouble, but it's also gotten me out of trouble a lot. So it balances out.
Yep.
Definitely. I mean, it got me kicked out of public school in junior high.
That's awesome.
That was the end of my schooling career.
Your sense of humor did?
I was just a class clown, like to the extreme. And I disrupted class way too many times. So I got sent away to like bad kid school. And that's where I learned to be bad. It's funny how that works out.
Did you like pack up your microphone and speakers and like, fine, I'm leaving this school.
Yeah.
I'm going to go tell jokes at a different school.
That's
You guys
right.
produce your own show.
Taking my talents elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you really get kicked out of school?
Yeah, 8th grade.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. I was, oh my God, I'm shaking right now.
Don't.
I'm
No.
always nervous.
No.
What was the joke?
Oh, the final straw. This is the dumbest shit in the whole world. It's just, I joked about everything and I disrupted and I interrupt the teacher and just fucking stupid shit all the time. The final straw, they had this big meeting. So I lived in a group home at the time and the head of the group home came in with the teachers and what are we going to do? Made a treatment plan, quote unquote. So yeah, I'm 14 at the 13, maybe. Anyway, they said if she gets sent to the office one more time, that's it. She has to go to Sweetser school. And I remember the day. So I really liked the band REM, and I thought Michael Stipe was super hot. And I wrote, I wrote on my forehead, "I love Michael Stipe." And my friends were like,
Backwards? Did you write it backwards?
I didn't.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess I did. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, the teacher was like, "You got to wash off your forehead," and my friends were like, "Oh my God, Ann-Marie," because they all knew
Yeah.
if I get sent to the office one more time. I had friends like almost crying and pleading, like, "Don't send her to the office." And he's like, "Wipe it off," and I'm like, "I'm not though."
Oh, wow.
And that wasn't even funny. It wasn't funny at all. And I feel like Michael Stipe owes me a college education.
Yeah.
He can probably afford it.
It would
but-
be nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's something.
And then he turned out gay, so like none of it worked out.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is just one
But it's fine.
bad thing after another.
Yeah, so I went to the bad kid school, and that's where I learned to smoke cigarettes and fuck and stuff, you know, like, because that's,
Fair enough.
yeah. I did try to go to college. I ended up going for 2 weeks because I was, like, literally homeless. It didn't work out. That didn't work out. I got my GED, like, in half a day. The year I would have graduated.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
I don't see why they waste 4 years on that, to be honest. It seems like a waste of time.
You can just jump right to the end.
We
Okay.
we touched on this in a recent interview too. Like, do you feel like people who are funny are actually very, very smart?
Super smart.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you have to be because, like, your neurons are firing rapidly
yeah.
all the time. And sometimes that does get you in trouble because you blurt out shit that you shouldn't say. But
Yeah. That's true.
sometimes you can explain it away
Yeah.
or just make them laugh and they forget.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think laughter does kind of heal those sort of things,
Mm-hmm.
heal those wounds if done correctly.
But it's like geniuses that are, like super sciencey or something, but have like horrible social skills. There's always a balance.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're really, really funny, probably your house is messy or something else. You don't always make great decisions otherwise. Yeah. Like, I make a lot of terrible decisions, but oh well.
Yeah. That's cool. My house is a mess. And my garage
oh my God,
is
you're the funniest.
Yeah.
So we can skip over the how many years have you been doing comedy question.
0.1.
0.1 years, all right.
But in reality, your whole life.
I guess.
You've been working at it.
In a way. I like had a comedy blog, sort of. It was just a weird kind of dark humor. I remember like one of the stories on my blog that really blew up was the time I got held up at a grocery store, but I made it funny. Even though it was horrible and scary.
Well,
you were like mugged?
Well, no, this guy like freaked out and he tried to like shoot everyone, but his gun jammed and like.
Stop it.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was at Hannaford. And then I had a really abusive boyfriend at the time, and I got home late from grocery shopping, obviously.
Because you were dodging bullets?
Okay. No, the gun jammed. But,
okay.
But I had like a nervous break. I had like a panic attack after. I was fine in the moment. There was this little old lady in front of me, and I like pushed her down. And I tried to go into hero mode, and I had this big bottle of margarita mix I was going to hit him with, but...
Wow.
And then he got tackled by some other people that were definitely more able than me. And then I melted down. So the managers of the store like had to drive me home crying. And my boyfriend was like, "Why are you so fucking late? Who are these guys? You're probably fucking them." He like didn't believe that it happened.
Jesus.
And then it was on the news that night, and he kind of apologized, but not really.
Kind of. All right, I guess.
I know, it doesn't sound that funny now that I'm telling it.
He sounds like a real dick, though.
Oh, he's the worst. I hope he hears this.
He probably will.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funnier when I wrote it. It's not that funny right now, I guess.
Well, it's still a pretty big story, though.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had sort of this blog, and it was sort of dark humor stories about what was going on or had happened. I had a weird way of telling the stories.
But it's stories like that build into some humor later. I mean, you'll like I write, like I've written things about like the death of my father, which wasn't funny at all, but like I made it into jokes on stage. So like anything that happens, and if it's true to you, then like eventually, when you say it on stage, or at least in a comedic, scene, then you can actually make some jokes from it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a big fan of what I call roller coaster comedy.
Yeah.
Where it's like, or some people call it dramedy. Mm-hmm. Like Ricky Gervais does a lot of that in his shows. Like Derek is one of my favorite shows ever. His other show, Afterlife, they'll get you with a joke and have you laughing, and then bam, with something sad and real, and you'll be crying. And then there's another joke. And you're laughing with tears still in your eyes, but not the funny kind of tears, like the crying. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Because that's life.
Yeah.
Like, it is a roller coaster, and you just got to find funny wherever you can.
I love that show, Derek, too. You got me into that. And
good.
it's like I'm on the treadmill watching episodes of Derek, and I'm crying. I'm crying on the treadmill. Mm-hmm. And Nick just shakes his head no.
Losing water weight.
Yeah. Crying on the treadmill. And then, like, the next minute, I'm laughing again.
Right.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard of it. I got to check it out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I want to be Derek when I grow up, if I grow up.
Don't grow up.
Okay.
It's no fun. It's no fun. So you mentioned Ricky Gervais. You mentioned George Carlin. Who? I mean, anybody, everybody, comedic influences.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah, honestly, like when I got my first DVD player, I must have had like 100 DVDs of just stand up, and it was everybody. Like I had no one particular. I could hardly find a stand up that I didn't like.
Nice.
At least something about them. But I would say like. Everyone goes, "Who's your favorite?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, too many." Yeah. Like, I really like Joan Rivers a lot.
Yeah.
Sarah Silverman, obviously.
Yeah.
Because she's smart and cute and funny. She's everything.
Yeah. And she's from New Hampshire.
I know. She's our neighbor.
She is?
Yeah.
She's our goddamn neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ricky Gervais, George Carlin. Yeah. And all the others.
In any whatever one's in front of you at that moment.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're attempting to style yourself after anyone in particular, or are you just using all those influences?
I don't know that I like really use any influences. That sounds weird too.
No. But you're not doing an impersonation of someone or emulating someone like
No.
specifically. But
I just try to write my own shit, and usually it's a little complainy, but I try to make that funny.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I want to be my own person. That sounds like a lofty goal.
Yeah. Well, speaking of goals, do you have plans to continue with comedy? I mean, we keep
you booked me for a show, so I guess
we keep twisting your arm and throwing you on stage. Like, are you enjoying it? Do you want to keep doing it? Do you want to?
It's so funny. So like right now I'm new, and maybe a year from now I'll hear this and I'll go, "Oh my god, remember that?" So right now, I've done 6 shows. One was an accident because it was an open mic, and I got called up when I wasn't going to. But whatever, it was fun. Sure. So right now, before I have a show, I can't sleep the night before. The whole day I'm a little shaky. About an hour before I'm going on, I start getting hives.
Oh.
My skin gets bright red. I get blotchy. I'm a little shaky. If friends are coming, they come to talk to me, and I'm like, I don't want to talk right now. Like, I can't talk right now. I can talk to the other comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because some part of me maybe thinks they know, but I feel like my non-comedy friends are like, oh, let's just fucking talk. And I don't want to.
I'm kind of the same way. I used to not be able to speak at all to anybody.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes before I was going to go on stage. And right now it's like, if I'm 10 minutes from the show about to start, I can't talk to people.
Yeah. Then while I'm on there, I'm a little bit like, oh boy, but I'm doing it. Can't show I'm going to do it. And then after I'm off the stage, I'm fine.
Yeah.
The shakes are gone. The hives are gone. My skin returns to a normal color and temperature. No, really, like, the show at O'Donoghue's, someone hugged me, and they're like, you're so hot right now. I'm like, I know. I'm a fucking cactus. Get away from me.
I'm going to explode.
Stop talking. Hand me my beer and fuck off. Yeah.
So I always think of nerves in those situations as excitement. Mm-hmm. And I've renamed it in my mind. Like, I'm not nervous, I'm excited.
Well, I call that nerve-sighted.
Nerve-sighted.
I'm nerve-sighted. Now, I made up that word years ago. I had like a new job I was going to, and I was scared, but I was also excited. So I was like, oh, I'm nerve-sighted. Yeah, there's definitely like a high afterwards. It's hard to sleep the next night because or that night of performing, because I'm like, oh my God, that fucking ruled. I feel so good. I made people laugh.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah. All right. We got to get you a pill of some sort.
That'd be great. Wait, I work in a pharmacy. Oh. I'll bring the pills. Just kidding. We don't get free samples.
No, that's too bad though that you have like a day-long process of getting on the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I wish I had some sort of tip to,
I will say, though, I've noticed it is getting better already, and it's not been that long. It's been like 3 weeks. I did Ultra Quiz Plus again this past week, and I had no shaking at all. And I think going on stage made that way easier.
Yep, that's for sure.
I mean, I wasn't totally like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm fucking gonna own this now. I'm the best. It wasn't like that, but I didn't shake.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Listening to those podcasts and watching you on stage, I don't notice the nerves.
That's good.
I would never have thought to myself like, oh, she's been nervous for 24 hours leading up to this moment.
That's really good.
You know what I mean? So if that helps at all, it's not noticeable. It's not something that people are going to be like, oh, look at her, she's up there shaking.
Yeah, I can hear it, but I know my own voice.
Yeah.
But you know what? Also, I'm doing it even if I am fucking shaking.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Do it.
I mean, I went through a weird agoraphobic period for many years, almost a decade, where I didn't leave my apartment at all. So just the fact that I make it past my front porch is pretty goddamn good, let alone get on a stage. So
is that what agoraphobia is? Is the fear of like people and places?
It's the I don't want to leave my house at all thing. And I still struggle with it a bit. I get up 3 hours before I have to go to work because it takes me a long time just to process that I'm going to leave the house, decide if I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I hate rushing. If I rush, I forget something, and then I freak out and like, yeah. So, but I've just found ways. I mean, I was up at 6 today and I got here at 11.
That's pretty good.
You got up at 6 to prepare to get here?
That's correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're honored.
I feel like there's something in there for comedy.
I'm certain there is.
I'm afraid I'll put my bra on the outside of my shirt.
Hey, it worked for Madonna.
That's true.
Yeah.
And the lady on Splash. Remember that movie Splash?
I don't, but I can look it up. Right
she was
here.
a mermaid.
Daryl Hannah.
Oh, yes.
No, Daryl Hannah was the mermaid, but there's an old lady in the office that had her bra on the outside of her shirt because she was a little dingbatty.
Was it Dottie Goodman, Mrs.
Are you
Stokes?
Googling it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you're so good at trivia. Wow, we should bring him some night to trivia.
Can you bring your laptop next time we go to trivia?
You know, the rule is you can't have your phone.
Oh.
They never said anything about a laptop.
Yeah.
Plus, you guys know who hosts it, so.
Yeah, loophole.
I love a good loophole. That's good. Oh, that sounded dirty.
That's all right.
The loophole. That'll be the offshoot comedy club. So we have the punch hole and we'll have the loophole.
The loophole is the small room.
Yeah, the small room. Yeah.
Because it's going to be a 2-room comedy.
Right. You haven't graduated to the punch hole. We'll keep you in the loophole.
I would just say, as a person who worked, I worked in a sex shop a long time ago. Don't have a room called the glory hole. Don't do that.
Let's pause 1 second and go back.
Let's rewind for a second and
Sex shop? Nothing funny about that.
You know what? The funny thing about working in a porn shop is for the first week, you're like, oh my God, look at that. Look at those. Look at this. After a week, it's just fucking merchandise like anything else. It might as well be like Pine Sol spray and fucking curtains. Like it's just nothing. You become so desensitized to it.
Holy cow. I'm picturing in my mind a person working at a porn shop with a clipboard going over to the section
doing
where
inventory.
Like
You got to do inventory.
Double-ended dildos and being like, oh my God, we only have 2 pink ones left.
These things are flying off the shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, someone snuck one out of here. God damn it.
We need to order more.
Where did they put it? I don't get it.
More cock.
No, I knew that I was
Oh
desensitized about a week in. This guy called to see if we
Where's
had
all the AAA batteries?
This guy called to see if we had a specific title, and I found myself shouting across the store, "Hey, Jeff, do we have Planet of the Apes number 8? Like it was nothing. And I was like, oh, yep, it's just merchandise.
You guys need like little earbuds and little tiny microphones on your collars to do that, so you can.
Yeah.
But what's the difference?
Like it's a real store or something. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, like we're Target of porn.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if porn was that big that there was Target size stores?
Someone should do that. Get that domain name quick, guys.
Oh, wait. Someone should do that.com?
No. Targetofporn.com.
Target of porn. Oh, that's probably taken.
Oh my God, for sure.
It probably, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was one of my jobs.
What are your other jobs? Pharmacy, porn shop. I mean, there's got to be others.
I was an online chat rep for Coach handbags.
No kidding.
Like, yeah.
Like
that's weird.
The bags with the little tag.
Yeah.
That Coach.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing good. Oh, I worked at 7-Eleven.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had a lucrative career, guys. Don't be jealous. This is what happens when you get kicked out of school, kids.
Yeah.
So what got you into pharmacy?
What got me into pharmacy was I was doing the online coach job. I lost that job. It was a weird independent contract thing. Then I had to get a job like immediately. So I was like, well, I guess I'll have to like work at McDonald's. And I was like, wait, there's a Rite Aid up the street. I could like be a cashier, right? Anyone could just do that. So I applied, and I guess just the fact that I had a pulse got the manager really excited because he was desperate for someone, and he ended up being one of the best bosses I've ever had, Al. And then about a year into it, the people in the pharmacy, I guess, noticed that I had a little more than a pulse. I also didn't actively drool. So they were like, hey, do you want a promotion? Do you want to work in the pharmacy? And I'm like, well, I didn't go to school. And they're like, that's okay. You don't have to go to school for this job. And I'm like, oh, shit. And you actually don't. They like train you on the job. All you need is, a GED or a diploma, and you can do it. Oh, and like no criminal convictions.
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 Loophole.
As crazy as my life has been, and as many mistakes as I have made, and as many laws as I have broken, I have never been arrested. Ever. I've never even been held or anything.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It's weird. Knock on wood. Because it ain't over yet.
Did you ever get like a speeding ticket though?
I've been pulled over 3 times for speeding, but I haven't actually gotten the ticket.
Nice. Good. Excellent.
I don't know how.
Well,
Has this been in Sigrid?
Once in Sigrid, yeah.
Okay.
She's really fast.
Yeah. For tell our audience who or
Sigrid,
what Sigrid is.
Sigrid is my car. She's a 2019 Volvo XC40. You want me to keep going?
Yes.
She's a T5 engine. She's Amazon blue with an ice white roof, mirrors, and wheels. And she goes vroom vroom.
I like it.
Yeah. No, the first time I got pulled over, I only got my license like almost 4 years ago. I was 39 when I got my license.
Wow.
Really?
Oops, I just gave away my age.
No, well,
That's okay. We'll edit this out.
I mean,
our listeners don't do math.
I was 19. I got pulled over for speeding very shortly after getting my license, and it was a 30-year-old Volvo wagon. But it was a turbo, and it did go really fast.
Yeah.
The guy pulled me over, and he's like, "Why are you shaking?" And I was like, "It's my first time getting pulled over." And he's like, "Yeah, but you're 39. Like, can't be your first time." I go, "Yeah, well, look at the date it was issued." And he literally said, "Oh my God, that's adorable. You just go ahead, ma'am." And I was like, "Well, don't ma'am me." But it is adorable. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What town were you in?
That town was
No, we probably can't say that.
Casco.
Okay, that's fine.
Casco, Maine.
Out there.
It was a speed trap. It was one of those places where it turns from like 50 into 30, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah. If you had been driving since you were 19, you would have recognized that.
I probably would have been better at that. Yeah.
Yeah. I pass cops all the time, and it's like, I saw you miles ago. I'm so sorry that you think you're hiding.
Yeah.
Now, I got pulled over recently, actually, and I just had a headlight out, and the guy came to the window, and I was like, oh my God, I am 20 years older than this dude.
Oh.
And he asked me some questions, and I could tell that he was impressed by me. Like, I was like, oh God, like, because where I was coming from and whatnot, and I was like, he looks up to me now. Like, I used to be that I was afraid of cops, and I would look up to them, and say like, oh, it's a police officer. Like, got to be respectful. And now it's like it's reversed. Like, they're like, oh, it's an actual adult man. Like,
wow. So did you give him a ticket?
I should have tried.
You should have.
No, but I just whatever. Like, I had a headlight out. He's like, you know why I pulled you over? It's like, yeah, I have a headlight out. He's like, oh, okay, well, gotta get that fixed. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll do it next week.
Do it when I feel like it, young boy.
Yeah.
Now leave me alone, young whippersnapper.
And get off my lawn.
I guess that's exactly what it just sounded like, didn't it?
A little bit.
It's weird to be at the age now where we're at the age now where people who are in charge of things are like half our age.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's my point.
Remember like the first time you go to the doctor and the doctor's younger than you? I mean,
yeah.
Holy fuck, what a... I didn't like that at all. That's why I stopped going to the doctor.
Mm-hmm. Well, you should go to the doctor. I'm going to the doctor soon.
I go to the ER when I have something wrong.
My doctor is older than me, but everybody else that I associate, like any nurse, any other doctor is younger than I am.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing. Yeah.
Some people just make better life choices, I guess.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
Life choices of getting a doctor.
You're making me feel bad about being healthy.
No, I meant people that decide to go to school and be a nurse or a doctor.
Oh, okay.
The first time I had a doctor younger than me, I was like, oh man, I really fucked up.
Yeah, oops, too late
there
now.
There it goes. Yeah, I got to go back to the porn shop. My shift is starting.
They call it a shaft there, but...
Oh.
That was awful. I loved it.
I got to get the soundboard thing working to do the rim shot there. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be funny. That would be funny. Oh my goodness.
So the jokes you've done on stage, how did you actually start your process for writing? Like what did you decide to talk about on stage? I know you do a lot of pharmacy stuff, but
yeah, it's funny. So a lot of people say like I write funny stuff on Facebook. and a little bit on like Twitter. But I've also noticed Twitter jokes and Facebook jokes don't really translate to stand up at all.
That's your first lesson.
Thanks.
Correct.
I mean, I learned that before going into comedy.
Yeah.
And there are people I've seen on stage that I'm like, oh, you're reading your Twitter feed right now. Like I can tell there's just a different way to word it. And it is funny online, but it's not funny on a stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to try and figure out like how am I going to turn my humor that I write? I write a lot, but how do I turn that into saying it in front of people? It's much different. Thankfully in the class, like we had like a guest comedian every week. You guys were there, Julie Poulin, Johnny Ader, Mark Turcotte.
Yeah.
So every week we had different feedback. So I wrote a thing and it was pretty funny. But then every week I got a little bit of different feedback. So you tweak it and you tweak it and you tweak it. And then finally you feel like you're at a place where you can puke it out on stage. And yeah. Now I feel very lost and floating around in this weird world of like, well, now I don't have a 5-week thing to like bounce my writing off.
Yeah.
So I guess next year I might join the class again and get another 5-minute bit.
There's always opportunities to work on stuff. And,
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to develop, stuff as well. So, obviously we'll include you in that.
Yeah, I'm
but,
definitely going to sign up for any kind of writing workshop that I can. It's fun too because like you can like even I can help someone else with their thing and like I think it's cool.
Having a new set of eyes, fresh set of eyes or ears on something is always helpful.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, especially if that audience is diverse. Like I'm doing like online workshopping with people, and they're like across the country.
Mm-hmm.
So one's in California, one's in Maine, and one's in New York, and one's in Boston, and like just hearing all of their feedback on my joke
definitely
helps to know whether or not my joke is any good, to say someplace other than here in Maine. Yeah,
because we do have a huge circle here in Maine, but there is a big world out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what do you think about this comedy scene here, just in Maine alone? Like,
it's fucking amazing. So I live in Portland, where you'd think all the comedy would be, and I guess at a time there was.
Yeah. There will be. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that scene, to be honest.
Well, no, but
I'm scared of Portland.
It'll come back. I mean,
it's not that. I'm scared of the crowds. Like, I don't know. I feel like I might offend someone. It's really easy to offend people in Portland. I just basically go to sleep in Portland at this point. I'm in Auburn like 3 nights a week, I think, honestly, there should be like a movie about it because no one would suspect it. No one would fucking suspect that in Auburn, Maine, there's a huge comedy scene and that people come from all over.
Yeah,
to do comedy here.
Fucking Jay comes here from Detroit, like, and he loves it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. People come up from Boston. Yeah. You have Boston, but you're going to, okay. Yeah. Good. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. I mean, there's a demand also because, there's lack of stage time right now in Boston, but people also think like when we give them stage time here, we're like, yeah, you want 10 minutes? Great, we'll give you 10 minutes. And down there, they have to fight for 5 or 7. And like, we're like, just drive a couple hours and we'll give you 10, 15 minutes on the mic.
I kind of want to go down to Boston and watch the fights.
I just before the pandemic, I was getting to the point where I was like, I need to get to Boston and try to get 5 minutes somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like at that point, but now obviously, things have been closed up and it's hard to do. And
Can you fight?
I don't fight well.
What if me and Leonard backed you up?
Yeah, then we'd be okay. I think
Comedy Street Gang.
If we went as a posse.
Well, we talked about this. I'm no good at starting fights. I'm good at defense.
I could start a fight.
Okay.
Leonard doesn't start fights; he ends them. I'll volunteer to film it. So,
with the crew from the porn shop.
Don't get cocky.
Was that the name of the place?
No. What the hell was it called? Oh, it was Video Expo, but now it's called something else. It's right on Congress Street. It's still there.
I know where it is. Yeah.
It's like
I mean, I don't know where it is, but I know where it is.
Is it like 3 X's in the name, or is it?
I think they only had the one.
Oh, okay.
They should have, though.
Missed opportunity.
I know.
It was, if I remember correctly, it was just a black storefront, like painted black door, like you couldn't see in.
Yep.
It was just a sign.
Yeah, right across from Joe's Smoke Shop.
Yep. Which is now a very fancy,
dude.
Like, it's like a fancy convenience store.
This is why I got to get out of Portland.
Yeah. Joe's Smoke Shop was awesome. you get a 6-pack of PBR for a nickel. You know,
It's true. And if you're underage, you could always find a homeless guy to buy it for you if you just gave him one.
Yep, exactly.
Not that we endorse that.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah.
My children don't listen to this podcast. I don't know about yours.
My kids can drink legally, so it's fine.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good there. Leonard mentioned something about you have met comedians, like famous comedians.
A couple.
I mean, he says there's really good stories. I don't know any specifics.
I know what story he's referring to. There's one
Is it a good story that we need to have?
It's probably good for you and the listeners. It's not so great for me, but I'll say it just so everyone can make fun of me forever.
All right. Well, no, we don't want anyone making fun of you forever.
Let's do it.
But you are a comedian now, so
that's
you
true.
want people to laugh at
You're
you.
in the club.
I'm in the oh boy. When are dues? When do I have to? I'm a little short on cash. Okay, so I was 18. I went to a Carrot Top show because he was so cute. This was before the plastic surgery, by the way. And I just thought he was super funny. He always made me laugh, and I would see him on Leno and stuff. And I got a free ticket through like some weird little teen center thing. Went to see him with a friend. He was super funny. I brought my camera. I brought my book that was his, whatever he had published, joke book. And after the show, we went around the back of the building and waited by his bus. And when he came out, I got on one knee and asked him to marry me. And he started making out with me.
What?
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Again, this was before the plastic surgery. I have to put that out there. He used to be a real cutie.
Yeah.
And then I had a Sharpie also for him to autograph my book, and he autographed it. And then I said, "Hey, would you autograph my stomach?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I go, "I'm going to get it tattooed on." And he said, "You don't have the balls." And I was like, "Oh, but I do." See, you should definitely not tell 18-year-old Ann-Marie that she doesn't have the balls to do something. I didn't used to be very nervous like I am now. So I slept all night on my back with my shirt up so that I wouldn't ruin the autograph. And I went the next morning and got it tattooed on.
Oh.
And it's very awful decision. It's a very unbecoming tattoo, I'll say. It's huge. And every boyfriend I have has to look at that during intimate times. And none of them like Carrot Top anymore.
I don't know that anyone likes Carrot Top actually anymore, but
I think the problem is that Carrot Top doesn't like himself. Hence all the plastic surgery.
Right.
He shouldn't have done that. He really fucked himself up, man. But if you're listening, Carrot Top, I would love money to remove that.
That's a great story. See,
Thanks.
I think it's a good story. I don't think it's unbecoming. Like that's
Well, you don't have the tattoo.
No, that's true too. No, my body's a temple.
I understand.
Of doom.
Good one.
So you don't have any tattoos, Nick?
I have no tattoos, no piercings.
That's really smart.
Neither do I.
I have several, and I've been lasering them off. It's very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Doesn't it hurt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my fucking bank account."
Yeah, really.
It's really bad. Yeah, that's why I haven't gotten a session in a while. But don't get tattoos, kids.
Yeah.
Wait until you're like 30.
I can't even commit to a bumper sticker on my car.
Me either.
You know,
No, I
like-
do the magnets because you can take them off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I couldn't do a tattoo.
No, yeah. I just feel like the legal age for them shouldn't be 18.
That seems
You're so fucking dumb when you're 18.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, clearly.
Exactly.
You got and he all it took was him, like you were never gonna see him again.
Never.
And all it took was for him to say
I
you
could
don't have
have
the
just
balls.
said, "Hey, I made out with Carrot Top," and then no one would believe me, and we could move on with our lives.
But you actually have a tattoo to
Yeah.
Now we
somewhat
have proof.
prove it.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Have you met any other famous comedians or people and not tattooed their name on your body?
I have. Well, my buddy Rocky Laporte from Chicago.
Yeah.
I've met Leonard Kimball and Nick Gordon. And they're pretty neat.
We try.
Let's see, famous. Oh, I met Colin Mockery
Mockery.
and Brad Sherwood. I got a picture with them.
Yeah.
That was way back.
And
yeah.
they retweeted you, right? Or
They
what?
did. They retweeted me.
That's cool.
I just wanted their attention, and they did it. Oh, I was trying to promote a podcast episode of Ultra Quiz.
Okay.
And then I ended up putting the wrong link, and I'm still kicking myself about it.
Oh.
I mean, it was still a link to an episode I was in, but I really wanted to promote the newer one whenever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so mad. And Doug was like, any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
no, I'll never forgive myself.
And you've had other famous comedians retweet or like your stuff.
Sarah Silverman gave me a reply. I asked Sarah Silverman about stage fright.
Uh-huh.
And she quoted a guy, I can't remember the guy, sorry, but said basically, fuck it. Who cares? If you're doing the thing, be proud of yourself for doing the thing. That was the gist of it.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
I got a like from Ricky Gervais once.
Yeah.
TJ Miller, weirdly, like he kind of followed me, and that was neat. I made him laugh on one thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's more than we got.
But have you tried?
Yeah, we're like constantly knocking on these guys' door.
Well, yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, getting
Yeah, but
hauled
that's the
off by
problem
security guards and everything.
It's
Yeah.
like we would go to their house and be like, "Hello, could you like this, please?" Whereas like there's actually a way to do that.
Oh,
There's a
really?
way to like reach out and at people and all that stupid shit.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta
we don't know how to
work
do
at
that.
it.
Yeah.
I feel like in the before times it was called like autograph hunting, but maybe now it's like tweet hunting.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
kind of the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you take a screenshot and there you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's your autograph.
That's actually a thing.
I think it's better.
It's easier.
Yeah.
You can do it from your bedroom or toilet.
You can do it from the toilet. Exactly. I was just going to say, like, I'm on the shitter. I'm like, hey, what's up, TJ Miller?
What's up?
Thinking about you. No reason.
Never you mind. Oh my God. We got to be better about that.
You should be better
for
about
the
that.
podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we try. We do try. I mean, you try.
I think we should get our associate producers on that and tell them they've been slacking off.
Where are they at?
Yeah. No, we have an interview
have
process.
We have a
It's an
huge team of editors and associate producers that help
that
us.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they lost my check.
Those are the ones.
Oh, yeah. That guy got fired because of that. That's a shame.
Good.
How have we asked this yet? How far you want to take this? Like,
I think you did, and I like deflected.
Okay, good, because
Yes.
I kind of do want to.
It was a deflection.
If you ever had the opportunity to perform in Boston or New York or LA or Vegas or any like on a cruise ship, like, would you want to do that?
Excuse me, I'm going to vomit thinking about that.
No, okay. I mean, that's the answer.
Okay. I'll say yes, because hopefully by the time I'm that good, I'll really kick the shit out of these nerves, right?
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I just want to, I guess, honestly, I'm very competitive with myself and always kind of striving in everything. That's why I got a really fancy car, because it was like a goal and I wanted that car and I fucking got that car. And it was a competition with myself to see if I could do it. And I did it. So I feel kind of like that with my comedy right now. Like, just get better. I kind of kick myself in the ass for only having that 1 5-minute thing right now, but then I'm like, wait, it's been 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. No, you should work on that 5 minutes.
Right.
You
Yeah,
should-
keep working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I try to get it filmed every time I do it so I can kind of pick it apart and see what I did right and wrong. My best show so far didn't get filmed.
Ugh.
And I'm like, I know it was my best because people were laughing harder than I'd heard them before, but I'm like, what did I do right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe you didn't film it. That was what.
Oh, shit.
Maybe that's what it was right about.
Well, no, because there were a couple shows I didn't know were being filmed until after, and I was like, "Oh yes!" Like I was really happy.
I see.
I watch it like I don't know. I just kind of analyze everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I go on stage and don't remember what I saw, and
That's a common problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's but as long as you're having fun,
I am.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
Would you recommend other people take Dawn's class or get into stand up or try it out?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And the coolest thing, so like I had started this interview saying I really like to make my comedian friends laugh. A really cool moment happened. I put my graduation show thing on my YouTube. I didn't put it on my Facebook because it is my only 5-minute bit and I didn't want to discourage any friends from actually coming to a show. Because that's it. You've seen it if you've seen the clip. But I put it on a couple of pharmacy groups because the topic is about pharmacy stuff. And holy shit, it like kind of took off. For a minute, I was getting like thousands of hits per day for a few days and really good feedback from other technicians and stuff. Just being like, oh my God, you fucking nailed it. And I had this moment of like, Oh my God, you know what's cooler than making comedians laugh? Like making an audience laugh. Oh, yeah.
Secret.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
Yes, it is.
So
Yep.
I'm not going to make you guys laugh anymore.
No, we've been laughing.
It's over.
It's
It's old hat.
good. Well, we know what you're going to say next.
That's true.
But that's all right because there are a lot of good comedians that we already know what they're going to say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and you're
and
laughing as
there are comedians that are considered comedian.
Yeah.
And they are fucking great. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get like wedged into that either.
Well, the point is like if the material is good, then it's good, and
Yeah.
we're gonna laugh even though we know what punchline is coming.
That's true.
Yeah.
I laugh at Banana Peel every time.
Even though it's not a joke.
I might be the only one that
You're the
does.
one. Yeah,
I know.
I'm the one. I'm the
Mark
one.
Turcotte's writing in right now. He's going to be pulling into the driveway right now. It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Oh, was that him on my voiceover bit today?
Oh yeah.
She sounds hot.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Comedy nerd.
I know. God, is there a better nerd?
No, I don't think
No,
there is.
I don't think there is.
Yeah.
Everyone loves comedy. Well,
I
there's
think,
like 5 people that don't, and they're fucking stupid.
I think a lot of people say they love comedy, but when they're really presented with it, they have a hard time understanding what it is.
Oh, that's for sure.
Right?
Yeah, I tried to tell a friend that Ricky Gervais is like one of my all-time heroes just because of his comedy, and they said, well, his stand-up is really not that good. And I'm like, fucking what? Do you know how much stuff he writes that isn't stand-up? Like,
Yeah.
go to school, you fucking idiot. Comedy school.
But that's true, though. Like,
It is true. People don't know like how much they watch Saturday Night Live and they just think like, oh, Will Ferrell, what a fucking genius. And he is, yes. But do you know how many fucking people had to write that shit for him and put him in a
Right.
costume and like figure out the set? Like people don't think of all the little things it takes for their favorite movie or TV show or, you know.
that's something that we're running into now with producing comedy shows is the fact that, people just think, oh, you guys will just show up and do a show or whatever, and we'll pay you $5 and it's no big deal. But it's like, this is more than, coming and playing a guitar for an hour and doing cover songs. Like, we can't do cover songs.
No. Well, it is funny with the music analogy because I had some friends that I've known a long time kind of remind me when I get nerves. They're like, you used to sing sometimes. And I was like, well, I was in my 20s and fearless. Also, it was songs that someone else wrote.
Yeah.
Stand-up is way different.
Way different.
It's your brain is pouring out in front of people and you have to hope they'll like it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And you know immediately whether or not they do.
You sure do.
Yep.
Right. Thank you very much for being on our podcast. We really had a good time. You are familiar with Curse the Darkness.
Curse it. I love cursing.
Well, sure, curse all you want, but what we want you to do is like tell us about something that you want to complain about, but something you don't have any plans on fixing or putting any effort towards correcting.
I wanted to be really clever and say like, oh, I hate that I'm a procrastinator, but I'll change that later. That's not funny at all. I think I will say the thing I would complain about is my complaining. I'm going all out.
I see.
And I'm never going to change it. I that's how I get by.
By complaining?
Yeah.
Will you complain about anything and everything?
Pretty much.
Would you complain about something today that yesterday you wouldn't complain about?
What do you got?
Well, you're like today, like if you went and got a bagel with cream cheese today and there was not enough cream cheese, but tomorrow there's too much cream cheese. Like, could you complain about both sides of that?
I might be able to.
Yeah.
It would have to be before me. I can't just, I'm not an actress. I can't cry on command. I would have to be presented with said bagels. Do you have any, Leonard?
I need an under cream cheese bagel in front of me to be inspired.
Mm-hmm. If you give me both at once, I will mash them together to make the perfect amount of cream cheese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then
Just
would you
take
complain
from
about
one.
that?
Yeah, that I had to go to all that trouble. So yeah, complaining is something I will never stop doing. And it is awful, and I know it's annoying. And I don't like to hear other people complain, and I wish they would knock it off and get their shit together, but... For me, it's just right.
I need to dominate the complaining airwaves.
Thank you, Leonard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, she's going to go far in comedy because she likes to be the center of attention. I'm confident.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much,
Thanks
Ann-Marie.
for having me.
Oh, it's been good.
And after this show, I'll go back to my job as your voiceover lady.
Yeah. We'll get that. We'll get that check thing all
That's good.
worked out. I'm sorry about that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Gas money.
Thanks again, Ann-Marie Keene, everyone.
Well, there you have it. Ann-Marie Keene, everyone. Ann-Marie can be seen on some upcoming River Comic and Main Event comedy shows, as well as being a frequent guest on the Ultra Quiz Plus podcast.
Right. She's one of many aspiring comics in the great state of Maine. When you have the opportunity, check her and others out.
For sure. We have an amazing community of comedians here, and thankfully, things are getting back to normal and more shows and venues are starting up.
Thanks to everyone who listened. Tell your friends and follow Comedy Think Tanked wherever you can. Please share with anyone and everyone. Be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Find us on Instagram at Comedy Think Tanked, Twitter at Comedy Tanked, and our website, comedythinktanked.com. Email us at comedythinktanked@gmail.com. Good day.
Theme music was written and produced by a minor, Ralph Birgfeld. No comedians were hurt in the production of this podcast. All audio snippets of actual funny punchlines were not written or performed by any of us or our subsidiaries. Rather, they are express written bits of professionals we admire. Let the civil actions be filed. Any opinion heard, actual or implied, is that of the
Comedy Think Tanked
producers and their guests. Any slight, insult, affront, slur, disparaging remark, snub, rebuff, rejection, or spurning, no matter how derogatory, pejorative, or abusive you may feel it is, was not intended, but for comedic, entertaining purposes only. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Ugh.
Yeah. Listen, sweetheart, can we do it one more time?
Thanks for listening.
Yes.